Welcome back! Today's gonna be a really exciting day because we're turning this little guy into the same thing but in C#. And I actually had a theory that my game was compiling slowly because I'm running off of a disk drive that isn't my boot drive. So I'm gonna try to move the game over to a different drive. I'm gonna try to move the game over to my boot drive and see if that fixes the issue. So let's take a look at this. So right now, it takes roughly this long to load. This is excessively slow for a computer this powerful. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Alternatively, let's try and copy the game over to a local folder. I don't like sitting there staring at it more than you guys do. Okay, let's see if this is faster. Man, it's still not as fast as I'd like it to be. That's not terrible though. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna do a run. Why not? Just for funsies. I made a fool out of myself on the first stream by not being able to win the game a single time, so let's see if I do any better today. I got this. It's gonna be a speed run. We're gonna kill these guys as fast as we can. Come on. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just embarrass myself a second time. No, it's fine. It's a strat. You get really close. Sometimes you get hit, but it's worth it for the damage, you know? Yeah. Yeah, you get it. You understand. Let's take these guys out. See, look at that. We get hearts. And everything's alright. I cannot aim. Oh my gosh. I didn't think those projectiles were going to hit me. Am I going to lose? Okay, I can do this. Look at that. 7 baddies. This is the run. Here we go. Look at that. I'm not going to get hit a single time after that one time. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Let's do it. Oh. Yeah. I'm not going to get hit after that, though. That was the last time I'm getting hit. For sure. Oh, I should have gone for homing. What am I doing? I'm already throwing. 16 baddies isn't too bad. I just have to not stay in one place for too long and not run directly into projectiles. And I should be okay. Wow. I should pick up some of these hearts now. It'd be really embarrassing to die twice. It's not like I have ever died twice on this game. That'd be weird, right? That'd be weird. Yeah, I kind of choked by not grabbing that on the first run. Just because... Look at that. That's awesome. That's great. Love to see it. And that's what we're looking for, more fire rate. If I could just get fire rate for the rest of this run, it'd be fantastic. That'd be awesome. Maybe I don't want to do that, though. Getting max fire rate might spoil it, because max fire rate is kind of nuts. You might say it's extremely juicy. Yeah, buzzing noise. Me when I'm buzzing. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, we're gaming. Things are happening. Things are happening. Yeah, we love corner glitching in our own game. That is probably one of the bugs of all time. It doesn't even make the game that much easier, so I'm leaving it in. You know what? Obviously, we want speed in this situation. Obviously. Yep, I'm really glad I went for speed. In this situation, oh my gosh, I am clenched. Oh, okay, I can't believe we survived that with full health. That was crazy. That was actually insane. Oh no, wait, oh, there's a heart here too, wasn't there? No, I'll get that heart back. Yeah, now we got these guys to deal with. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. No way! I only have one more floor to get health back. I don't want to go bonkers. Alright, multi-shot will literally double our DPS for right now, so that'll be good. Yeah, this is great. And if I can get 2 hearts out of this and go into the boss with full health, that would be amazing. Of course, there are juicers that just set your health to 1. Considering how poorly I play the game, I don't know, maybe I would play like a little more carefully if that was a thing. but just like the rest of you, I find it hard to believe that I'd be able to do that. Somebody will be able to do that, though, someday. Oh, that is it. Let's go! Gaming. End friction. Perfect. Perfect run. Just take this guy out. Wrap it up. Okay, I don't want to drop his health to a quarter because then I won't be able to dodge his laser because he puts up those walls and it means I have to run around this whole thing. It's a lot harder to dodge the circular laser when you're having to run around that gigantic wall. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of dodging today. And his defenses are down so I can start shooting at him again. This is perfect. Get him down to 500 because I don't want to see him dashing or doing the laser again. Perfect. 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 Just keep dodging like I did before. And we'll be okay. It should be easier in the position he's in too because I have a lot more time to dodge those projectiles. This is great. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're going to get it. Finally going to have a successful run in my own game. Okay, okay, okay. That was actually kind of scary. But we're good. Oh my gosh, that totally could have hit me. I kind of got lucky there. And this is it. This is it. Oh! I'm so glad. So, there used to not be anything projecting where he was going. And this attack was basically impossible to dodge. It was just pure luck. Okay, we did it. We're in there. Five minutes. That's an okay time. That's an okay time. Oh my gosh, my upgrade just looks like a big F. No. I finally thought I succeeded and I got an F. That's good though. That's a 5-minute run. You guys got to see the game. There's some desert content here, because why not? Right? Wow. Wow, I'm not hitting at all. Anyway, that's good enough for desert content. That's not what we're here for. Today, what we're here for is making a big swirly tornado. And there's already a couple of things that I want to do differently when it comes to putting together the tornado. First off, I want each particle to be its own type. GameMaker, we had to do funny things. If we go into our tornado object, we just had a bunch of arrays that sort of represented the particle. We're not going to do it that way in C#. C# lets you make actual classes. So what we're going to do instead is just have a class that is the tornado particle, and it's just going to have all of these values internally. So rather than having a bunch of 2D arrays like this, we could actually just have one 2D array that is all of the particles on each ring of the tornado. So this is really messy. I would not make a game like this in the future. Okay, I'm going to put a disclaimer now because I made this game a little bit ugly. The first time I was making this game was in GameMaker. I literally did it in 4, maybe 5 days just to pump out a YouTube video as fast as physically possible, never thinking that I was going to make a longer game out of it. So I knew what my scope was. I did a lot of things just to get to the end that make it harder to continue working on the game. And then I had the opportunity to fix all of those things when I moved the game to C# because I literally had to reprogram the entire thing. I could have fixed all of that, but I kind of wanted to see how close my engine was to just a 1-to-1 copy of GameMaker. So I ended up duplicating all of my mistakes just to see if it would still work. And it did work. The game runs on hopes and prayers. Trying to find an object in this giant mess of unsorted objects, or digging through code that looks like this. What is this? My console is almost 2,000 lines. Now you know what happened. This tornado is not an effect. This tornado is actually going to be a type of baddie, sort of. It's not going to be a baddie that's listed in the Baddiepedia, the encyclopedia of baddies, the bestiary, if you will. It's going to be more like the sinkhole in Boss 2. So Boss 2 is a worm, and he creates these sinkholes everywhere that will suck you in as if they have gravity. I'm going to copy some of the code that I used for that generalizing it will maybe make it easier to code this right now. So I guess we'll see. What does my sinkhole object already look like? So we have some timer, which this is actually how long the sinkhole itself lasts. Not sure what segments is. Do I actually use this? Where do I use segments? Oh! Right. So the sinkhole has these layers of spinning discs to make it actually look like it's rotating and the sand is sinking in. And the number of segments is just how many of those discs I include. Because the sand background is already very noisy and grainy, I only need a couple of segments to make it look convincing. Sand sprite is the sprite I'm using, canvas is canvas, spiral scale is spiral scale. Maybe I don't need any of these. Last stream and the stream before, we saw GameMaker uses surfaces. C#, FNA, and my engine use something called a render target 2D. And I like to just call it a canvas, because I think canvas is a generic term that a lot of things, other programs use. Spiral angle isn't even being used, so I'll ignore that. Lifespan. So this is 600 game ticks, which is 60 ticks per second, so 10 seconds total. This is how long the sinkhole will actually last on screen. I haven't 100% decided what I want to do with the tornado as far as sucking things in, but regardless, I'll go to my baddies folder. And I did another terrible thing. All the baddies are just numbered from 1 to 11. And that's not even an indexing thing. I could have given them an actual name and it would have affected nothing, but I decided to be stupid. Let's create a new object here. There's going to be obj tornado. Tornado. The sinkhole does get the baddie parent. Yeah, I think I'm going to code this as a baddie parent. What's good about being listed as a baddie parent is it already has the collision ready to go. So I may regret making it a baddie parent later, but for now we're going to do it this way. So, and I might actually put another object in, or another class in between those, which is just things with gravity class. I don't know. We'll see what it ends up looking like. Why is it? Oh, yeah, it's mad because I don't have all of the things that are required for a baddie parent. So let's copy as much of this as we need, right? So tornado. Now the sinkhole I have always in the background. It kind of makes sense because it is in the floor. So I have the depth to 9999 whatever. But I think the tornado, it makes sense if you're able to stand behind the tornado, just visually. So I would like to do something about the depth for that one. Tornado, I might want to set the depth in the create method just because the tornado is going to be kind of massive. I just don't want single frame visual glitches. So for a singular frame, the tornado is going to be behind something that it should be in front of. Nobody likes that. Now I've got all these sand sprites, which are not necessary or part of it. Although maybe I should use... I could use a sinkhole just to see where the tornado is. Okay, on creation, can collide is false. That makes sense for the sinkhole because the sinkhole can literally appear on top of you, and I want to give you a chance to run away. I'm not going to have the tornado able to appear on top of you, so can collide does not need to look like that. But the real question is, does this get set to tangible true later? No. Okay, so tangible is always false. This does get set to true later though, right? Yeah. So tangible is false. Let's use the same knockback. HP 10 doesn't really matter. Nothing's actually able to hurt the sinkhole or the tornado. But it needs some HP if it's going to inherit from baddie parent. Otherwise, it's just going to die immediately because it has 0 health. Yeah, I'd like to make some of these more generic. What is this no heart? I think I would know what these are for, right? I'm not sure. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I do need some sort of hitbox for the tornado. Maybe I'll just use the player, like the generic hitbox, which I believe is the player hitbox normally. So like mask is player hitbox. I've been doing that for pretty much every single baddie and it works great. It feels fair because the player has kind of the same hitbox as the enemies. It ends up working out. I think we'll actually have no sprite because we're just going to be generating the particle effect. But this is just so I can see the tornado in there. I guess I can create the pull force value right now. So pull force in the sinkhole gets set to 2F later on. The F just means float, so it gets set to 2.000 as soon as the game starts, which makes sense. I should wait to do this until the tornado is active. So I'm gonna leave it at 0 for now. I run the game now. What I'd like to see is the player position, so I'm just gonna run the game and set a breakpoint once I've loaded into a level. I'll just read the position from there. Here I am, breakpoint, and our position is 560 by 350. So if I put the tornado at like 520 by 310, up and to the left above the player's head, that should be really good. That should work out for me. Let's go to scenes, area 1, and I'll literally just create a tornado right here. Oh, and this has to be defined as a new numbec. Should be visible. I just want to make sure it's there before I do anything else. And while that's loading in the meantime, we can actually continue coding other things. Sort of. In the player, the way things with pull force work is, it's really stupid. There's 2 things in the game that have pull force. This thing called Baddie 9 and this thing Sinkhole. And rather than just having something general that can pull, I am individually looking at each of them. Now, okay, Sinkhole is a little bit of a special case, I'm realizing, because it doesn't have this start or moving, but Tornado will have that. Tornado will have both of those. It's going to be just like a regular baddie. I'm thinking what I'll do is I will make Baddie 9 inherit from gravity baddies. We'll call them gravity baddies. Or gravity baddie parent or something like that. And that way we can reuse all of this code instead of having to make something new. And literally just keep adding to this. Like, just keep adding to this forever. That's not what you want to do. So there's our guy. That's our tornado. Oh, and it also has a lot of knockback. Yeah, and I just simply died because I'm bad at the video game. And so now everybody in the game has the ability to have gravity, and we're just going to set it to false by default. So now we go back to player, and rather than being Baddie 9, this is just going to be all baddies. So Baddie parent, Baddie, oh my gosh, Baddie parent, 2Ds, parent, there we go. So if not start or not moving, and we'll add another obj dot has gravity. So if it doesn't have gravity, we're going to continue. If it's not started, we're going to continue. And if it's not moving, we're going to continue. Simple as that. When do we set start to true? That's kind of the question. I can't remember if player set start to true on everybody. Yeah, okay, I think player does do that. But then there's the other one, which is moving, right? Okay, so maybe I'm not worried about that, potentially. When does moving get set at all? So if aggro is true, and if distance is closer than accent distance. Okay, so if the player is close to any baddie parent, it automatically gets its moving set to true. So we might be done here. We might have all that we need. So I'm going to run this and see if the tornado has gravity. And this is another example. If I had set this up properly when I redid it in C#, I wouldn't be asking all of these stupid questions now because I don't know how my game works. Haha, very funny. I would say there is currently not gravity, but let's see why. If I look at the type for OBJ, it'll tell me that it's a baddie 1, so that's not the one I want. There we go. There's the tornado. Tornado has gravity. It is started, but it's not yet moving. So I got to figure out why it's not moving. It's kind of what I expected to see, to be honest. Unfortunately. Actually, I guess the better question, you know what I can do? I think if I go to area 1, this level generator, right here, spawn baddies dungeon, where I am spawning baddies at all. I'm going to comment this out so that no baddies spawn, in theory, hopefully. And then I'll only see the tornado because the tornado isn't getting spawned normally. I'm manually spawning it in. Yeah, and it shows 0 baddies. Oh, but I only have like a split second to play with it because it already starts fading out. That's fine. That's okay. Is that okay? You know what I'll do? Just for now. So the reason it's not being counted in the total is because it's not tangible. But just for now, I will set tangible to true. So now I will actually be able to play with the tornado. And now that it's the only one on the screen, I can check things more easily and do some other debugging. For example, and actually the reason I'm doing that, if I go into damage parent, so if I run the game, at this point I'm expecting to be getting sucked in, and I'm expecting that move should be true. Is the player close method even getting called? Oh, it's not. I have to call it myself. Okay. And then this is when I can add my like moving code to actually be doing stuff. Okay, it's great that I don't remember how my game works, but you know, no one has to know. So let's run that again. I like how I didn't have to do any of what I just did. Just where I was going to set the breakpoint made me immediately realize what the issue was. That's what I have you for, chat. You guys are my rubber duckies. So now I should be getting pulled in. Oh, I'm getting pulled in vigorously. Like, oh, at that distance, I actually can't even escape. Wow. But I can hit it. Funny enough, I can hit it. Which is not something I should be able to do. I want to see some like movement speed. If I get movement speed, can I outrun it? I know I can with friction. If I get max friction, then this weather event literally doesn't matter at all. It gets ignored. Okay, not literally. Oh, wow, that worked really well. Oh, and I instantly died. Whatever. We're good. I was gonna say the way gravity reduction works for friction is asymptotical. So even when you have really, really high friction, it still pulls you by less than a pixel per frame. Eventually you get pulled in. Anyway, I think the issue here is pull force is way too high. That's the pull force for a boss when it's expected that you already have some friction upgrades and speed upgrades. The weather's gonna be random events. So if you spawn in on level 1 with a tornado, you're instantly screwed, which is probably really bad. So it is possible. If you're too close, you will end up getting sucked in. Like if you're at this point, I can't escape anymore. I'm too close to escape. But at this point, I can just barely escape. And then at this distance, it's not pulling on me anymore at all. At this distance, it is pulling in. It's pulling me until I get right there. Then it stops pulling me in. Yes, I'm getting pulled in. And then of course, because of the way aggroing works, if I were to shoot at it, it starts pulling me in because it gets aggroed for 3 seconds. But then it stops being aggroed. Let me see if I can hit it from here. Yeah, I got pulled in. Tornado's not a normal baddie, once again. And I do want the tornado to be pulling you in from pretty much anywhere. So I am actually going to set aggro to 1 forever. It will always be aggroed. Actually, okay, so it should be... Oh, but I already have it as a player close thing, so if it's moving. Hold on a second. Does this return true if aggro? Oh yeah, if you're aggro, it does return true. So we're good. If the tornado has started, then he is going to be aggro forever. So aggro time is going to be equal to 1 forever. I mean, obviously, if I set aggro time to 1 immediately before I check this, which is what I'm currently doing in the tornado, then it won't matter. No issues. Okay, so now, oh my god. I got sucked in immediately and I couldn't escape. So yeah, now no matter how far away, like I said, it's asymptotical. So even if I'm all the way over here, there is still like a little bit of suction. And it's not even that much more as I get closer. But when I get really close, now it's really pulling on me. And I just want it to be something where it affects the player. So I guess there's a few things I could do. If I'm having the tornado constantly follow the player around, then this is probably a good pull force. But another thought I had was just to have tornadoes constantly spawning in, moving across the screen, and then getting destroyed, which might end up working well. And if that's the case, then I can probably set the pull force to be higher because the player's not going to be constantly running away from it. There's a decent chance that it'll be easy to avoid. But I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to polish the game when it's all done and set... Oh, that was interesting. When I went against the wall, I went a lot faster. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I'm not going to fix it, but it's really interesting. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of things that... A lot of just playing with numbers. At the end of the day, game design, the last thing you do is spend time playing with numbers. Oh, interesting. If you get stuck right there, you don't even... Wow. Okay, there's some mild glitches with gravity, but I'm really not too worried about it. Mostly because I'm afraid of what it would take to fix. So that's interesting. So at any angle that happens, that's really weird. Oh, no. This... Okay, I did end up getting stopped there. Oh, because when it pulls on you, it's not doing the thing where it snaps you across the wall, like if you were moving. If you're moving, there's a little bit of leniency where you could run into a wall, like clip it by a pixel, and the game will just push you up or down to make it so that you can keep moving. Just a little bit of forgiveness. It feels good. I don't really hate this. I think It's good.